Good day, viewers, and welcome to another Onside SA Soccer Show. Paul is away on business, so I'll be joined right now by our UK correspondent who's holidaying in Madeira, Stevie Brom. Morning, Steve. How you going?
I'm all right, thanks, Budge. Let's say, coming all the way from Funchal, Madeira. So
Okay.
very pleasant morning here.
All right. That's Ronaldo's island, is that correct?
It is, yeah. I'm surprised they haven't renamed it. They renamed the airport after him. Won't be long, I'm sure they'll rename the whole island. But
Okay, more likely he owns half the island, but anyway. Steve, as far as deadline signings go, do you think Arsenal got the best buy?
I think so. If they left it late, Atletico Madrid were not interested in allowing them to talk to Thomas Partey until they met the release clause. They refused to lessen it. But in all honesty, 45 million for a player of that quality, yeah. I think Arsenal have probably got the best signing on deadline day.
Yeah, I'm surprised no one's gone in for him earlier, because when Man City signed Rodri, I thought he was a far more all-round player. And I think he went for more. So I think that's a great signing for Arteta.
Yeah, well, I suppose like last year, transfer fees may have got a little bit more. I guess if he was available last year, if there was they probably could have got more. But you're right. I'm surprised that other teams who maybe had a need for that type of player didn't go for him. And Arsenal obviously decided they really did want to strengthen and left it late, but it got done in the end. So I think Arteta's got a good band there.
All right. The Legion of Man United supporters are all in tears after the 6-1 hammering by Tottenham. How do you think their transfer activity went?
Well, I think overall pretty poor, really. I mean, obviously they got Donny van der Beek in a bit early. I'm not even sure he's going to necessarily be a regular starter. I think he'll be there or thereabouts. Yeah. But they needed to address defensive issues. Obviously, were highlighted on Sunday, and they didn't at all. Bringing in sort of Cavani, who's a very experienced player, but had terrible injury problems the last year or two. So it's a gamble, but I don't think it's going to change their season that much. It could work for them like it did maybe with Ibrahimovic, but it just makes a little bit of desperation at the end to bring somebody in who can score a few goals. I mean, that hasn't always been their problem. Yeah. But we know with the defensive issues they've got that they might need to address that again in January.
Yeah, I just can't believe how they've messed around with the Sancho deal. If they wanted him, just go and get him. Rather sacrifice a left back and go and get him for the 108 million rather than trying to be clever and just ruining the fans' hope, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I mean bringing sort of Alex Tellers in, but if they haven't addressed the central defensive issue, then that's not going to make a huge difference. But look, it remains to be seen. It's been last weekend was obviously a crazy weekend for results, and no more so than the United one. Yeah,
Steve, your boys Fulham looked like you had a good window.
Yeah, I think in the end, fair play to Tony Khan. I mean, we know that we have shortcomings in defence. We were linked with a lot of centre halves, and in the end, we got two over the line. Joachim Andersen, a Danish centre half, on loan, and brought in Tosin Adarabioyo from Man City. Very highly rated young player. Comes with a lot of good wishes from City, and I think at some point those two could be the starting. We may even go with the back three.
Back three, yeah.
In there with
Hector.
But I think for us, I mean, the one, and it was actually the very last signing that went through at about 1 in the morning was Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and I think if he stays fit, I think that's really is a quality signing for us because he needs game time. Yeah. Gareth Southgate has gone on record yesterday as saying that if he can sort of get back sort of playing as he was, he's back in the England reckoning. So I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think hopefully he can help us this season.
Yeah, I think it's a great signing. You saw what Ross Barkley did for Aston Villa against Liverpool. I've always been an admirer of Loftus-Cheek. I just can't believe he hasn't cracked the nod at Chelsea.
Yeah, I think the injuries have not helped. Yeah. He had a short loan spell at Palace, did very well. I think the injuries have just sort of put him back a bit. He started the game against Brighton.
Yeah, he did.
A few weeks ago. Didn't have a great game, and I think he's just sort of coming back. So, get a few games for his belt, a bit of I suppose a little bit more of a pre-season, as it were. Yeah. And I think hopefully he can hit the ground running for us. But but we need it. We needed to strengthen, and I think with Ademola Lookman coming in just before, I think
there's hope.
I think by the way. I think there is hope. We played a lot better at Wolves.
Yeah.
A bit of quality. But we were probably unlucky not to get something from the game. And I'll say we've still got players now to get in. So we've got a run of games coming up. Sheffield United,
crucial.
Rotherham and Palace, and 3 games. We need to look to get some points.
Yeah. No, I must say, even though you got beat by Brentford, I like the look of Lookman. I thought you deserved a point against Wolves. But, sadly, another mistake.
Brentford, no. I mean,
Brentford was...
it was one of those. I mean, it could easily have been 1-1.
It should have been, yeah.
We gave away. We gave away some. That's been our failings this season. Giving away some very sloppy goals with amateur defending. That it doesn't matter what league you're in. If you don't mark players from corners, they're going to score goals. So we've written that one off, and I think we're just going to look forward now. Obviously, we have players out on the international break, but hopefully Scott's got a much stronger squad, and I think that we'll probably end up seeing quite a few new players in the starting 11 soon.
Okay. Steve, this weekend we've got League One fixtures. We kick off with Accrington Stanley against Rochdale in a Lancashire derby. How do you see that going?
Yeah, Accrington are not a bad side at home. They had a sort of mixed start to the season. Rochdale as well. I think we'll be tight. I think won't be many goals in it. The Accrington don't score that many, but I think it can either just be, they might just edge that one.
Okay, Accrington in a draw. Okay, Crew Alexandra against Wigan.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I feel for Wigan. Obviously, they've lost most of their team from last season.
Yeah.
But, they've not had a dreadful start to the season. I think they could get something at Crew. So I think, they might either pinch that or certainly could hold Crew Alexandra.
Okay, Northampton Town against Peterborough.
Northampton not had a great start, but Peterborough I thought would do better. Obviously, they sold their start last season, Ivan Toney. I think Peterborough might get something there.
2 teams, okay. Plymouth Argyle hosting Burton Albion.
Yeah, I think Plymouth should be a little bit too strong. Burton have not had a great start, let a lot of goals in this season. I think Plymouth might just be a little bit too strong for them.
Okay, and last but not least, Swindon Town against an AFC Wimbledon team who've got a South African, a local player that used to play with us at Stella. His son is playing. So how do you think, any chance of them getting a result?
I think it'll be close to big goals. They're the 2 second highest goal scorers joint. They've got 8 goals, both of them in 4 games. I think there's going to be goals. I think Swindon might just edge this, but I think it could be 3, 4, 5 goals there.
Yeah, and shame little Donovan Chisler used to play for me right back, and I play with his dad. Couldn't believe it. He scored last week. I think they drew, and he scored a goal. Little midfield players. Everybody in Durban's following him. Steve, obviously the week. Steve, sorry. It's Nations League weekend. We've had a few friendlies last night, and there's some European qualifiers. But we're going to go through the Nations League A with you. It kicks off on Saturday with Spain hosting Switzerland. You think Spain will be too good?
I think they should be. Switzerland had a good draw against Germany, but I think Spain should be too strong. I think Spain will be too strong for them. Yeah,
I know they drew last night with Portugal was on, but friendlies, you can't really bear too much with that. Our second game is Ukraine hosting a German team who can't keep a clean sheet.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I mean, Germany have really not had a great start, 2 draws. But Ukraine, I believe, have got a few players out.
Yeah.
And I think Germany might just be a little bit too strong for them.
Okay. Bosnia-Herzegovina, who play in the European Championship tonight, or the playoffs, should I say, they host a Netherlands team under, is it a new manager? Is it Frank de Boer?
Yeah, so I think the Netherlands, I mean, I was surprised that they lost at home to Italy. I thought Italy played very well that day. And Bosnia sort of got a point. I think Netherlands will come back strong. I think that they'll probably get something there.
All right. The big game this week is England against Belgium. Can you believe England are 16-10?
Yeah, look, we don't have a particularly good record against Belgium. And again, with players out, obviously Raheem Sterling out injured as well, which makes a difference. Gareth Southgate is playing. He's going to mix and match his team tonight in a friendly against Wales. So I don't think that'll give you much indication of who his starting 11 is going to be. Obviously, we hope no other key players drop out between now and the weekend. I think it'll be a tight game. I think I'd love to see England win, but I can't see them doing more than a draw.
Yeah, I totally agree.
It depends how well, if Belgium play their strongest team and play as we know they can. Kevin De Bruyne sort of is on form, so it's going to be a really good game. I hope it'll be a good game because obviously we know how good Belgium are. So I fancy a draw there.
All right, I think Belgium will be too good for them, Steve. I just can't have the England back four. Maguire plays, if Gomez plays, if Pickford's in goals, especially Lukaku and De Bruyne. I think 17-10 Belgium is a great price, even though my heart's on England. Yeah, Steve. The second page we go to Croatia, who host Sweden. How do you see that going?
I think, Sweden don't travel very well. They've not had a great start. I think Croatia might just be a little bit too strong.
Yeah, I've noticed with the Nations League that the team that finishes fourth or last in the league gets demoted. So this is at the third.
So, and these are the two teams without a point yet. So quite an important game. They don't want to be in the sort of the B side, as it were, the B League. Yeah. But I just think I can't see Sweden winning that one away. Somehow.
Yeah, I fancy Modric and co big time. I see he's back, Modric. I know Rakitic isn't, but they've got them all. I agree. I think they'll be too good for Sweden. Now the game of the weekend for me is France hosting Portugal. Tight game.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, both got a record so far. A lot of people. I mean, France on their day with the players they got, you think would win, but often write Portugal off, and they just surprise. They never cease to surprise in competitive games because you look at them, some of them think, they're not quite as strong, but do well. I think France might just end, but I think it's going to be a very close game. Probably, as you say, it's the pick of the game for the weekend for me.
Yeah, some great talent on display. I think the draw looks a nice bet at 22-10. Iceland, who play Romania in the European Championship playoffs tonight, they host Denmark. I fancy Denmark. How do you see it?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really impressed with Iceland, and I thought they were poor against England, but England struggled to break them down.
Yeah.
They scored first against Belgium, but Belgium completely steamrolled them after. And I think, as you say, they've got a playoff game before they play. I just think Denmark played okay in patches against England and tried against Belgium. I think Denmark should be too strong.
Yeah, I agree. They're my best bet of the weekend, Denmark. And last but not least, Steve, Poland, who will have Lewandowski back. I think they won 7-0 last night against an improving Italy side.
Yeah, I think that'd be a good game. And I think with Lewandowski in the team, I think Poland would be maybe hard to beat at home. But Italy, I was very impressed with the way they played against the Netherlands and won that game deservedly. I think that'll be close. I think Poland could hold them, but I'm not sure they could beat them. So. Okay.
All right, Steve, I want to interrupt your holiday. I need your best bet for the weekend and your best value bet, please.
I'm going to go for Lincoln City. 100% record so far. Home to Bristol Rovers this weekend. They've been playing really well. I know that they got beaten soundly by Liverpool, but I thought in patches they played very well against them. So I think I'm going to go for Lincoln City as my bet. My value bet, I'm going to go for Ipswich Town at Blackpool. They've had a really good start to the season.
Okay.
Only conceded 1 goal in 4 games. Drawn 1-3 and drawn 1. Blackpool a little bit sort of inconsistent. I'm going to go for Ipswich Town for that one.
Okay. So as far as the internationals go, you got any fancies on them, Steve?
Yeah, I mean, I think Portugal buys people. There's a value there. I think that and Croatia, as the best bet. I think they're going to be strong at home.
Yeah, so okay for you. So okay, I've got your ring. So it's Croatia in the international and Portugal 27-28-10 is your best value bet.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you never know. I mean, you know what you're going to get. I mean, if their star players perform as they can.
Yeah.
But I think that is the game to watch. I think it would be a cracking game. I'll obviously watch the England game, but but normally sort of hiding behind the sofa when England.
All right, Steve, thanks very much. Enjoy the rest of your holiday in Madeira. All the best.
All right.
Cheers,
Talk to you next
Steve.
week. Bye, Budge.
Thank
Bye.
you. We continue with the Nation League B fixtures. We'll call them up. The Republic of Ireland was hosting Wales. The Republic of Ireland play a European Championship qualifier tonight against Slovakia at home. And I think they're going to be struggling against a Welsh team who have won both games and play England in their friendly. If I had to have a bet, it's going to be under 2.5 goals. But I think the draw at 2-1 is my favourite bet. But I just don't see Wales losing to Republic of Ireland. Now, Finland are at home to a Bulgaria team who play Hungary in the European Championship tonight. 7-10 Finland does look a good thing, but I would have a look at Timo Pukki, the Norwich City striker, to score any time. Last time I saw he was 15-10, so that would be my play as long as he starts. Norway I fancied last time to beat Northern Ireland. They won 5-1, but they play Serbia in a European Championship clash tonight. They face a Romania side who surprised everybody when they beat Austria 3-2 away. But Romania play Iceland in a qualifier tonight. Difficult game, you're going to have to wait for the teams. But if I was having a bet in that game, I think both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at around even money. Both look good things to me. Northern Ireland, they play Bosnia-Herzegovina away in a European Championship qualifier. Austria play in a friendly match, so they don't have anything to worry about. 9-10 Austria to me looks a good price. But the only problem with that is Johnny Evans, a Leicester and ex-Man United centre-half, he's available for Northern Ireland. So when he plays, they're a lot more competitive. But 9-10 Austria, it does tickle my fancy a little bit. On to our second page, we've got Israel, who play Scotland in a qualifier tonight against the Czech Republic side, who were beaten 2-1 by Scotland last week, in the last match. But they had to play an entirely new team because 16 of their squad got caught for COVID. I like the look at 12-10, the Czech Republic, but I just want to have a look first how Israel do in Scotland in their championship game. Russia, I think, are good things to beat Turkey. They've won 6 of their last 8, drew 1, and the only team that's beat them has been Belgium. Turkey have struggled in their opening 2 Nations League games, and they haven't scored a goal in either game. So 12-10 Russia is my fancy. Scotland, who have 5 or 6 players down due to COVID and injuries, play Israel in the championship tonight. But Slovakia are also involved. They play at home to the Republic of Ireland. You can never, ever underestimate the Scots. When they're favourites, you can't trust them. But everything's up in arms with them, and I expect them to get a result here. I wouldn't be taking the 11-10, but I don't see them losing at home against Slovakia. And last but not least, we have Serbia against Hungary. Both sides are involved in European Championship games tonight. Serbia hosts Norway, and Hungary are away at Bulgaria. Of the 2 teams, I fancy Serbia, stronger squad, and I think 8-10 is worth a bet. On to our soccer exotics for the weekend. We kick off in League One, and I'm going the field in the Accrington Stanley versus Rochdale game. I'm bankering Wigan Athletic, chancing them to win at Crewe Alexandra. The Doncaster Rovers versus Shrewsbury match has been postponed, so you can put anything there. I've gone the field in the Northampton Town Peterborough clash, likewise Plymouth Argyle versus Burton Albion, and ended with Swindon Town to beat AFC Wimbledon. Our international soccer 6, I'm going Faroe Islands, win and draw at home against Latvia. I'm siding with Liechtenstein to avoid defeat against Gibraltar. I fancy Malta to avoid defeat in Andorra. I'm bankering Spain to beat Switzerland. I don't see Germany losing in the Ukraine. And Flamengo, who lost in the World Club Championship to Liverpool. I don't see them losing at Vasco da Gama, 192. On to our soccer 10. I've gone the field in the Luxembourg-Cyprus fixture. I've banked Montenegro to beat Azerbaijan. I've gone the Faroe Islands, win and draw at home against Latvia. Liechtenstein, win and draw at home against Gibraltar. I've sided with Malta to avoid defeat in Andorra. Our second page, I'm bankering Spain to beat Switzerland. I'm bankering Germany to beat the Ukraine. Vitória Bahia, I'm going the field against Havana, Brazilian Serie B match. I'm chancing Flamengo to win at Vasco da Gama, and Palmeiras win and draw at home against São Paulo, 288. On to our Soccer 13. I'm bankering Spain to beat Switzerland. I'm chancing Germany to avoid defeat in the Ukraine. I don't see the Faroe Islands losing at home to Latvia. Neither do I see Liechtenstein to lose at home against Gibraltar. I fancy Malta to avoid defeat in Andorra. I'm bankering Degerfors to beat RK Brage. I'm going for Dalkurd to beat Luginskiel. Our second page, I'm going Halmstad, win or draw at Gaze Gothenburg. I think Croatia will be too good for Sweden. I think Portugal can avoid defeat in France. I fancy Belgium to beat England. I'm going Norway, win and draw at home against Romania. And my best bet of the weekend, Denmark, to win in Iceland, 256 Rand. On to our Budgies bets for the weekend. We start off with the Nations League treble. I'm backing Belgium to beat England. I think Denmark will be too good for Iceland. And I'm going Spain to beat Switzerland and both teams to score, 3,000 to 200. Over 2.5 goals quad, I'm going Bosnia-Herzegovina against Netherlands. I fancy Croatia and Sweden to be plenty of goals. I can't see there not being goals in the Norway-Romania game, and I think Ukraine-Germany will see over 2.5 goals there, 2,300 to 200. Our team goals only quartet, I think Belgium, Norway and Russia will all score over 1.5 goals. And I'm going Portugal to score any time against France, 3,700 to 200. Both teams to score games, I'm going France-Portugal, Norway-Romania, Poland-Italy, and the Ukraine against Germany, 2,300 to 200. Our English League One treble, I'm going Swindon Town to beat AFC Wimbledon and both teams to score. I think Wigan Athletic will win at Crewe Alexandra, and I'm going both teams to score in the Plymouth Argyle Burton Albion game, 3,700 to 200. Our six or Nixa works out at unbelievable 50 to 1 odds. I'm going Belgium to beat England, Croatia to beat Sweden, Denmark to beat Iceland, Russia to beat Turkey, Serbia to beat Hungary, and Spain to beat Switzerland, 10,000 to 200. Our last one standard, we entered week 4 last week with 44 people going through. Only 30 survived because Man City drew 1-1 at Leeds United, which ended the hopes of 4 people. Leicester City unbelievably got beat 3-0 at home by Leicester. That was the end of another 6. While Liverpool's hopes were dashed when they lost 7-2 at Aston Villa, and 4 entries disappeared as well. We have 30 entries left from a record 467 starting people. Our man of the week has to be Dave Goss, who survived with two picks. Surprisingly, our 2 leading ladies also went through, Renee Roos and Milan Lavaux. But special mention has to be to several of the guys that reached round 4, some of them for the first time. In no particular order, Meaton Harrelal, Patrice Masson, Eddie Lloyd, Mark Foree, Mark Stark, Greg Veal, David Hensey, 2 of my Durban North mates, Gary Smith and Mark Harford, Craig Massey, Carl Connolly. But they all have to beat, in my opinion, the toe favourite, which is Jesse Nagel, one of Hollywood's finest. Jesse will be hard to beat. He survived last week on Wolves. Everyone has the week off, so we only come back the next week. And please make sure, folks, you stay on side.